I got early influence from Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, all the West Coast artists, even the East Coast. I got introduced to Rakim very early. Very
Okay.
fortunate for that, and that turned my whole world upside down. So the influence all there, word association. I mean, whatever you could think of, alliteration, all of that was like the grammar, the whole breakdown of words. Just I don't know, it just grabbed me and took a hold of me, and
Well,
I've been trying to master that.
just the fact that you was 7, 8 years old writing a journal, you was winning already. You know what I'm saying? You was destined to be, you know what I'm saying, much greater than those that was around you because you was already wise enough to man to put it on paper, baby. You know what I mean? So that's real talk, baby, right? You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That was my beginning. So
No bad, no bad. Quando, what's up, baby?
Yes,
I know
sir.
you quite some time, my brother. You know what I mean?
Yes,
Quando, tell
sir.
your story, cat. From the beginning, my man.
As far as music, my grandmother, may she rest in peace, got me into music in the church early. So playing the drums, listening to her sing, listening to her practice. She's probably one of the most reputable gospel singers out here in Phoenix. So that got me in first music, and then the R&B. I was listening to Keith Sweat and the Whispers and all that stuff. That got me into
You
music, and then
you
and
on that
then
baby making music.
yeah, baby making joints, and then I would say about 11, I really got into like hip hop. You know what I mean? And that was when I got turned on to like Ice Cube and turned on to even MC Hammer. I used to like MC Hammer. You
Yes.
know what I mean? Chris Cross and all those Naughty by Nature.
Okay.
The early '90s music was when I really got turned on to hip hop, and then I started writing. Later on in like high school, started with poetry, and then started writing at an early age, and then so on and so forth from there.
Yeah, no question. So, back in the day, I'm not gonna give away our ages and all that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But back in the day when I used to see you, you was getting it in back then. You know what I mean? And so you just had a kind of different look and a flow when I met you some years back.
Yeah, it was
So,
different.
go ahead, my brother.
It was different. I felt like we had to be different as far as to like stand out. Everybody kind of sounded the same. You know what I mean? Especially being from Arizona, uh, everybody kind of had like a super West Coast kind of sound. So I think we had to blend the South, being that we all had Southern roots with the West, and
Mhm.
then put some of that East Coast lyricism in it.
Yeah, no question. So,
Yeah. So I I got a question for all of you guys. Like, how did you guys meet? Like, how did that come about? Where you get did you guys already know each other, or how did that come about, and how did that that group form? Anybody can start first if you want.
Bilal, you want to
Uh,
tell that story?
yeah, go ahead, Bilal.
I thought that's what's up. That's what's up. I'll be glad to actually. So me and Crondo, we're actually cousins. We've known each other since birth,
Okay.
and I was part of the Hood Cartel as well. So Sangria, when you met Crondo, he's probably doing the Hood Cartel.
mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. So probably came on board shortly after that, or maybe even during that time I was in the mix. Just maybe we didn't get to meet at that time, or something like that nature. But um, me and Crondo, we hooked back up like around like 2016 or so. No, 2006 or so, right? We'll say like, yeah, 2006 or so. Um, to push the music. So he was already doing the Hood Cartel it had really just started, and I was somewhat trying to like find my place as an artist. So what better, you know, what better way at that time than to join with family, you know what I mean? So we was pushing the Hood Cartel, and that's what I mentioned as we were pushing that for about 10 years or so, you know what I mean? And hardcore though, well, I mean, this is as independent as you can think, all out of pocket. Music was in stores. We traveled all throughout the Southwest. I mean, we made a great run for the time being that we did that THC movement. A few years, we also had a few years of under our belt of doing green light THC. Was kind of like something a little different after that, which was kind of like a duo with me and Crondo, you know what I mean?
Okay.
And then around after that, I stopped doing music, as I mentioned earlier. But when I came back to music, I had met Sky Harbor as well. We was working at the same place, you know what I mean? And when I first met him, I told him, like, you know, I don't do music no more, and but I listen to some of your tracks. So I'm listening to him. I'm like, yeah, hard. He sounded like Crooked Eye to me back then, you know.
Yeah.
And back then, Crooked Eye was like one of my favorite artists. So I'm like, yeah, he hard, you know what I mean? And like shortly after that, he hit me up. He was like, yeah, I got this track I want you to get on. I'm like, bro, I said I don't do
That's you guys
he would
started.
not take no for an answer. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna send you this track. So man, we end up doing a track. We actually performed it a couple of times too. It's pretty hard, pretty revolutionary track we did. And then the study groups came after that. With the study groups, my bro who just came home, LO, he got with the study groups as well. And from those study groups, after we finished it up with all of us in there, me, Crondo, LO, Sky Harbor, a couple other brothers as well, we like, let's do a track. And as I mentioned, from that point on, the birth of OBFC, the music group, was created after that as well. That track that we did is called Plant Seeds. It's like a fatherhood revolutionary track, which is probably one of our biggest tracks to date as well. So I'm not sure if you checked out the YouTube, but that video is the first video on there. But it got the most widespread views as well, because it's talking about fatherhood. They tapping in from everywhere. Like, yeah, man, we appreciate y'all for representing fatherhood in such a positive way, but keeping it authentic as well, being y'all true selves. Because sometimes we just don't know how to mix the two. Like, man, how do I be me and show them that I love being a father too? You know what I mean? And I think we made that clear that it's okay to do that for a lot of people. So, man, plant seeds.
Yeah, no question. So Crondo, tell us about. So he just kind of spoke on a little bit on how OBFC got started. Tell us a little bit, man, about the division. You know, when you guys began, of course, the music got created, but it sounds to me as OBFC, man, was something intentional.
Yeah, I feel like, or like Bilal stated, it came from the study groups. You know, we're talking about the RBG, the red, black, and green culture. It came from that. It stemmed from that. And then, you know, none of us really had intentions on doing music. But then I think once we, you know, did that song, and then we saw the attraction that it got, and then being that we all had our own buzzes and our own networks from previous musical experiences, the vision was to put that together and then push something positive, put something that's still street but still intelligent, and then push something that you know people can learn from without it being too preachy. And then that's when the light bulb went out. Like, damn, okay, yeah, we might have something here. You know what I mean? And it all flourished after that.
Yeah, no question. Harbor, man, what was your contribution to the beginning of the OFC? OBFC, I'm sorry.
My contribution to OBFC? Balance. I felt my contribution to OBFC because everybody was already familiar with themselves as far as Bilal, Crondo, and LO, or at least familiar with each other. So I was an addition to that, and I brought not only a different perspective, but a different head of the snake, so where we can really attack all kind of demographics and of that nature.
Yeah, that's what's
I
up.
brought
You
the
guys,
I brought balance.
you guys are I definitely want to say that you guys are super 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 talented. When I first saw you guys at the office and you did your music, you guys are super super talented. I don't think anybody is doing anything with what you guys are doing, even with the fatherhood stuff. So let's touch base on that too as well. Like how, like what is the importance behind it? Let people know like what is the importance behind repping it, and that fatherhood, because that is very important.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. That's the foundation of it. That's the foundation of like civilization. That's the foundation of what we do as far as OBFC. Like the music is cool. We do that because we like to do music, and then we feel we better than a lot of cats. We feel like we got a lot of a message and a point to prove with it. But the fatherhood, I think, is the most important of the aspect of OBFC because we're kind of uh, pushing that line as far as changing the narrative on fatherhood, especially black fatherhood. Um, we're changing the narrative on that, and then we feel like each of us are fathers. We don't kick it with deadbeat daddies. You know what I'm saying? We don't condone that. We don't condone none of that. You know what I mean? So we're kind of green lighting that movement as far as like black fatherhood, and to me that's what the OBFC is pretty much stands on and all about, in my opinion.
Have you guys like helped any type of fathers that were like unable to be able to see their kids, and maybe they came to you guys for advice and different things of that sort? Have you guys like helped anybody get their kids back, or like got a program for that where they can move
We
forward?
have a group that we do every Tuesday night. We have a Zoom meeting that we do every week, and there's fathers from here and basically all over the country. And we had not necessarily like went to court with some brothers before, but we had brothers that were on going through that particular process. Like I went through that process, Bilal went through the process. He went through it first. Then he helped me go through it. Yo, you can actually go just giving the game. They say the game
Right.
is to be sold, but some game got to be given out
Yep.
to help build the next man. You know what I'm saying? So we give out a lot of game as far as there was brothers on the call going through things, and based off our experience, we're able to help them point them in the right direction on how to do things and how to do the due process on how to go to courts and get the custodial rights and the parental rights and decision making, all that stuff. So yeah,
Yeah,
we helped a few brothers.
Cool.
that's real talk. So Bilal, man, when we first started, because you spoke on some things that I absolutely want us to dig into, man. You know
Okay.
what I mean? When you talked about you taking your sabbatical from the music game because of the lifestyle, I'm sure that has something to do with it, about the music, the things that you were speaking on in your music, which actually made you a little frustrated. I don't know whether it was frustration from the business itself or the direction that our hip hop culture was moving in. So I want you to kind of expand a little bit more on why or how you felt that it may not be moving in the direction that you wanted to move in as being a positive black man in our culture today.
Yes, sir. I think that consciously I always knew like, some things are like, that might have been a little overboard, but it sound hard. I'm gonna run with it. Like, you know what I
Okay.
mean? Like some of those thoughts always came to head, but I think eventually it just got to the point, especially like with maturity, is like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, like what type of person do you want to be? And the person that I was creating wasn't the person that I desired to be. And as I mentioned, not only was I living it, but I was rapping it, which was kind of like a double dose of the medicine. So I was
Mm-hmm.
getting more and more engulfed in it as I rap it. You know what I mean? As I rap it and then I go home and live it, it was as I mentioned, it just kind of spiraled out of control from there. I
Okay.
didn't feel like I didn't have control over myself over just my own life. And I had at that time I had one child, my daughter, which is my oldest daughter. She somewhat was the only thing that kept me grounded, because through that fight, I always was like, yeah, man, I'm gonna be a father, you know what I mean? Or I gotta be a better father than what I was shown, you know what I mean? Not only just through my biological father, but through men that my mom had dated and so forth. You know, I never got the opportunity to see, like, okay, what fatherhood is. Like the relationship me and my dad have now is between like it's an adult male fatherhood a relationship. But as a young boy, I didn't get to see it so that I could have something to project my, self towards. And I just think that from there, I just knew that it was going to be pretty much my daughter and me being a better person, or continue down the road I was going in. And I pretty much chose her. Obviously, I chose her, which allowed me to take that necessary break that I did take. During that time, I realized like I wasn't tripping. Like there's an agenda, and there was a reason why I was in the state that I was in mentally, which caused me to be in a certain state emotionally, and even physically. I wasn't even in the best health. You know what I mean? Just by being following the agenda blindly. You know, so. Again, I'm grateful for that opportunity to have been able to step away from it, get a better understanding of what we're up against. And that's why I'm so also so grateful for the opportunity to come back and do it one more time, or however many times. I know the approach and the understanding is different now. So I believe that that's a blessing, because everybody don't get the opportunity to go back and try to fix their mistakes. You know what I mean? Especially with the music. Sometimes you just gotta run with what's out there. But now I get to put some more stuff out there and kind of balance it out, like Sky Harbor was saying.
Right, no question. So Crondo, that's your cousin, and so he kind of went through some things, whatever, and he came back. Yo, sound like to me super positive, like super ready to kind of take on a different mission in life. And then when you cats kind of came up with the OBFC, I need you to kind of relate or not kind of explain, man, your feelings on the positivity that you wanted to bring to the community, man, not only as black man, but as a black father.
Yeah. Well, I mean, really, when we were both in the game like that, we was on the same team. You know what I mean? Like,
No
so
doubt.
we was doing a lot of this stuff, mutually and together. So um, when he stopped doing music, I had stopped doing music briefly as well. And then when we decided to bring apart the OBFC to life, I just feel like to piggyback off what Bilal said, like when you get a chance to right your wrongs, to give to balance the energy from the negative energy back to a positive format. I think you're supposed to run with that. And so when Bilal brought it to my attention that that's what we were doing, it's my cousin, and I'm always gonna roll with him. You know what I mean? So I'm like, yeah, for sure. Let me start getting on my studies. Let me start reading some more books. Let me start researching some more about our history and about our people, so that when I am talking, I know what I'm talking about, and I'm not just talking. You know what I'm saying? So it was just time. It was just time to go that route, and it's not a fad. You know what I mean? I feel like what we're doing is very imperative to um, to our peers, and then the people that come behind us.
Yeah, no doubt. So Scott Harbor popping in and out. That's all right. We gonna hold it down. You know what I'm saying? We got him, no biggie at all. You know what I mean? But man, I'm super impressed, man, by the whole movement in itself. You know what I mean? Because it's very rare, and let me just say, I'm of a certain age, and it's very rare that I come across some brothers, man, that are wholeheartedly about helping their next brother, man, move through the things in life, man, that sometimes shortstop a lot of us. You know what I'm saying? Especially as not just as fathers, but just as black men in itself. And for you brothers to be able to kind of put down a roadmap, kind of give game. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, to me, that's you can't get no better than that. It don't, because cats just don't do it no more. You know, one cat, once he see you down, he may act like he want to help you back up, but he ain't never extend his hand. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
And you brothers seem to do that, man. And so I need you to talk about a little bit more of what more else. I'm sounding like
it's all about breaking the cycle.
Yeah,
just the generational cycle and different things.
Sound like
that.
I never got out of third grade or some shit.
And I know a lot of people's stories. Like, I know a lot of people's stories are different and different things like that. Cause like, even with me, I'm from St. Louis, of course, you know, and I grew up, you know, from age 3 to 7, I was in foster care. So then I really didn't physically get back with my mom until like I was like 7 or 8. Then I met all my brothers and sisters, and then I didn't see my father until 10 years later. So explain the importance of, you know, when people don't have their fathers in their lives, or you know, even their mother figures in their lives, they blame their parents. But we have to understand too that sometimes with our parents, they parents wasn't around when they were growing up either. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So it's a generational cycle and a generational curse that has to be broken. And you guys are actually breaking those cycles, and we are breaking those curses to let people know, like, hey, look, you got to take care of yourself and do it for yourself. And
so talk about some of those conversations that are had within your community, your Zoom, you know what I mean? You know, I don't know whichever one want to do it. But so tell a little bit about, talk a little bit about that, man, on how you actually help, whether it be seminars or Zooms, when people may be in those predicaments or those situations.
Yeah, as Crondo mentioned, we do have the call every Tuesday, which calling it, referring to it as a call or a meeting does somewhat minimize the actual how powerful those conversations actually are, because not necessarily legal. We're not giving out legal advice, but we are giving out somewhat spiritual and mental advice to be able to push through this journey. So fathers to get on there, and you know, they have older children, they have younger children, and the best part about it is it's like a each one teach one feel. So nobody is on there with all of the right answers. Nobody is on there wanting to over talk everyone. Everybody's just like, okay, well, what you going through? Well, this is what I got. This is what I got. We're all just sharing information with each other, and it's turned into something more powerful than we probably even thought of initially when we came up with the idea. It's been going for 3 years now consistently.
Oh, that's what's up.
We don't miss Tuesdays.
Okay.
Every Tuesday, and it grows as well. Just recently, we took a 12-week course, about 7 or 8 of us on the actual call. We did something different for 12 weeks, and we took what's called a Nurturing Fathers course. It's through another organization here in Arizona called Man Cave. So we took a Nurturing Fathers course. Pretty much what that did was allow us to get some more knowledge and skills to be able to address some of these issues when the fathers come on the call. So we don't have all the answers, and we necessarily can't save everybody, or we're not necessarily even trying to save anyone, but we can just share with you what we have, and then support you as you move through it. You know what I mean? That's the biggest thing that I feel like we all need, especially black men, is we just need somebody to support us, not necessarily do it for us, but support us through the process. That's able to fill that void of like not having the parents there for you, and so. Sometimes we just do you believe in me? Do you want to see me win? You know what I mean? Yes, brother, I do. How can I help you? You feel me? And you'll be surprised how that can take a brother from ordinary to extraordinary. You'd be like, that's the same brother? Yeah, just because he got a whole support team now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And also the power of conversation. You know, like,
yes, sir.
So I get into a lot of, you know, conversations and debates within my business and all of that. And I say to Sonny all the time, just let them keep talking. You know what I'm saying? Like, engage in dialogue. You know what I'm saying? Because once a dialogue is created, you know what I'm saying? Now we can have a better understanding. You know what I mean? Because we all know that some guys cannot express themselves, cannot speak in the way that they're trying to express themselves.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So in their head, it sounds like one thing, but when they speak, it comes out another way. And it sounds like when you brothers are having these conversations, y'all are able to help a brother filter through those thoughts. You know what I'm saying? And actually quantify them and clarify them for particular brothers, man, to be able to move in certain directions.
Right.
You know?
Help them to understand where they're at and why they do certain things and the habits that come after that and the habits before that and so forth. So we're not necessarily pointing it out, but we helping them point it out for themselves. Because then that way it kind of takes it all off of us. We're not pointing the fingers. We're saying, did this happen? Did this happen? Did this happen? Okay, well, what does that mean?
Right.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
It's allowing them to uncover whatever the issue is on their own.
And
then,
some of that stuff is generational.
That, how can we help? How can we help you? You know what I mean?
Right. Because like Quanjo just said, a lot of it is generational. And a lot of us don't recognize that this is because this happened. There's always a cause and effect. And people don't recognize that, you know what I mean? Because this happened to you, that does not mean that this has to happen to you. You know what I mean? You can break that cycle. You can make a change. You can be the difference. Don't get me started. Y'all got me cracking.
Yeah, hey, that's real talk though, bro. Excuse me real quick. I tell Bilal the same thing all the time. When we have, private conversation, I tell him, yo, I'm proud of you. We broke generational curses just by existing in our mind frame right now. We've already broken them, and we're continuing to. So
yeah. So what's next? What's the vision? Like where you going with this? You know what I mean? And I should say, where are we going with this? Because I would love to be out there and be a part of it and support what you do. I mean, I do that anyway, but sometimes I do it because I'm behind the scenes and I'm different. My presence ain't always seen, but I'm always there. Let me just say that.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that. That actually speaks to the name OBFC. That's the reason why it's titled Our Black Fathers Committee.
Yes, sir.
Because it's not mine, it's not Crondo's, it's for all of us. You feel me? So I'm glad that you feel that way as well. That means that it's coming off as it should. And of course, you are welcome, and we'll keep you up to date with different things that we have going on. Every year we do different events. So we last year we started what's called the RBG Explosion, which is a weekend of events. And that's where Sonny mentioned that she saw us perform at the office. So that entire weekend, we basically galvanize all the black businesses that we can, but we also bring them together, circulate that black dollar. We put all of the entertainment and the energy all into one weekend, and we celebrate that weekend with each other. Last year we did it on Memorial Day weekend. This year we did it on Malcolm X weekend, which is a little bit more fitting for the culture and the feel. So I think moving forward, each year annually it'll be on Malcolm X weekend, which is May 19th through 21st. Well, it was this year, May 19th through 21st. And so be on the lookout for that event to come next year as well. That's going to be the annual event we do, in addition to our Black History Month Leadership Brunch that we do annually as well. So in addition to those annual events, we'll come up with different events throughout each year, depending on the energy from the community. So we're kind of just getting a good feel of what's needed out there. How can we help? And we'll put together an event like that, bring in all of those, the people who are working in those fields, and have those necessary conversations to see how we can continue to move it forward.
Yeah, because it's not just us.
I think you guys should hit small cities too. Like y'all should do like an Our Black Fathers Committee tour like. Bring some fathers.
Good idea.
They
That's
can't
great
do
idea.
that like seriously to have a whole black
Because you
leaders
already
and fathers and
you've
stuff.
already conquered one side of the piece of the map. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now it's just a matter of expanding because what y'all doing is super dope.
Yeah,
Like
I
a
think
lot of
that's the
people
goal.
don't recognize, and then where you doing it at makes it even doper because it's not like we're in a dense city like a
Yep.
Chicago or a New York or St. Louis. You know what I'm saying? Like where we're at, we're stressed out, and you catch us still
right.
extending your hands out to reach those demographics of those that don't know there's somebody out there that you can reach.
And they need
You know what I mean?
y'all. They
Right,
need
and they
y'all.
need it. You know what
Yep.
I mean?
And I
So-
want to salute my family of OBFC, man. Like it's Bilal, it's Lo, it's Sky Harbor, it's brother Nakia Shabazz, it's Javion Jones and brother Thurston Smith. It's several of us, and we're all connected in our own way, and we all have the same agenda, pushing the line on this culture. And I think that's a great idea. Is to basically our goals right now is just service. We want to keep serving the community, putting on these cultural events, growing our repertoire, and then growing our brand, and then uh, just service. You know, we just we're starting a program on Monday for the youth,
Okay.
14 through 25, I believe, the race program. And, you know, we're
Yeah.
starting that, and what does it stand for? Refinement, accountability, community, and empowerment. So we're starting that on Monday, 6-week program. Then after that, you know, I'm pretty sure we're gonna have another event, or you know, before the year is out. And each member, you know, we put on certain events in the community, and then we all just get behind them and then roll with them. So we're always doing stuff.
No doubt. So I've heard you cats make reference to The Office, and some people may think that you're just speaking of an office. I know that it's bigger than just an office. So I want y'all to tell when y'all speak on The Office, that is part of the organization that y'all part of, right? Or the location is what I should say, right?
Not exactly. So
Okay.
the relationship with the office came through RBG Weekend because it's a black owned venue pretty much,
Okay.
and we want to make sure that when we bring that entertainment, it's to a black owned venue. So we met. We knew him, Nakia Walker, previously through doing music out here. So we linked back up with her and realized or learned that she had The Office, which was a great fit for what we were doing that weekend. But what she's doing over there at the office is something similar to what we have or what we had previous. So basically she has a location that you can rent out and use for your events, but she also throws her own events there as well. And that's kind of like the feel that we've had as well. I was going to jump into a whole nother conversation because we do have a studio and we have other things as well. Also, but I don't want to take it somewhere else where it's not at. But Nakia, she has a venue that specializes in exactly what we do. So it was a great fit for us for that weekend.
Okay, great. So now that you said that, I want you to talk about your studio. Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes, sir. And I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why. Because as you brothers are speaking to me right now, I can already see other things. Some of you already talked about y'all taking that OBFC to other states. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, you know, you need an arm to reach out to you that has an extended reach bigger than the reach that you have.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't know exactly what you brothers are doing, but I can tell you that I have a reach and I'm involved with some different things that where we can spread you further than where you are now or where you're being heard now. Let me just say that. Mm-hmm. So I need you to talk about where y'all at and what y'all do, because as y'all speaking and doing y'all thinking, I'm already hearing a podcast. I'm already hearing
going into the prisons. I'm already hearing,
you know, going into the prisons, like Sonny just said, speaking to different brothers, because you're already proven. And there's a difference than cats just starting stuff. Y'all already been doing it 3 years. That means your formula is working. You know what I mean? So I want to just say, I need you to talk about all of the different things and the places where people can come and sit down and have these conversations with y'all. You know what I mean? And then we'll talk about some other things, man, of expanding that brand a little further than where it is today.
Well, we have a studio. It's called Central Station Studios. Right now, it's currently being renovated, so we're not working out of that location. That's why we weren't able to use it for RBG weekend. But
Okay.
Central Station Studios is basically a multimedia studio. We we do host events, private events there. We have a podcast set up, which us individually, we pretty much all have our own separate podcasts. Crondo's podcast is still operating throughout the renovation, so it's every Thursday, called Pot Roast Podcast. And then we also, of course, we have a recording studio. We record full-size bands. We record musicians, vocalists, and then, of course, rappers. So we try to provide all of the services that you would need in a recording studio. It's like a one under one roof. You can pretty much have whatever you need looking to do, you can do it there at Central Station Studios. So we will be back open soon, of course, and we will definitely let everyone know that we're back open for business. But until then, we're gonna keep moving around and creating different relationships with those that are out there. So if you have a place and it fits with what we have, what we need, be ready to hear from us and be ready to provide the services that you say that you have as well, because we're gonna come through and we're gonna for lack of better words, we're gonna pull your card on it and see if it really is what you say it is, if the love is really there, if the vibe is right and all of that. We're gonna pull up on you. So we until our studio is back open, we're gonna definitely touch base with different ones out here and build other relationships for sure.
No question. Yeah.
There was one thing you had said about the music being imperative, like the way that we're pushing it. But it made me think about our conversation we was having last night, me and Crondo. It's like it is imperative, but it's not popular, especially here in this city right here. Because for one, we are so spread out. For two, people don't like to necessarily hear things that make them uncomfortable, right? That when you hear a bar that makes you be like, man, damn, I got to get my shit together. Like everybody don't want to hear that. Sometimes they would rather hear something that allows them to stay comfortable and indulge in whatever that is. You feel me? So we're going to keep trucking at them though. Every time you hear it's gonna be a hard beat. You're gonna think it's gonna be something like but it's gonna be positivity on there, and it's still gonna slap. You feel me?
I think a lot of people use music.
I've got to witness it for myself. So those of y'all that haven't seen them get down, y'all in for a treat.
They use music as an escape. You know what I mean? And a lot of people use it. I've done that. But but music can also be not only an escape, it could be therapeutic, it could be building. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's what we're doing. We dropping those bars in there that'll make you rethink and evaluate yourself. Like, okay, man, let me go step in the mirror and ask myself, what the hell am I doing?
Right.
Like my story is somewhat similar to yours, but I really similar. I grew up around a lot of guys with my brothers and stuff like that, so I definitely can relate. Definitely. So I support the fathers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because it's a lot about somebody about Sonny over here that you don't get told. Sonny is stepping the joint and rip the place apart.
Right. I heard her.
She'll pick up a microphone and everybody be like looking at her like she all tiny and light skinned and cute until you say something slick. And she put that battle rap on you. You know what I mean?
I think how it was for me and what helped me, because I used to battle rap back in the day. And I used to rap and I used to sell like weed and I was off in the streets and different things like that. So I always studied my parents, whether it was my mom, my father, my brother, to gain knowledge of myself too. And then I also studied them a long time ago. just to get the traits that I was getting back, because sometimes with that childhood trauma, we get traits from our parents. So you have to learn to heal from those things and different things like that. So I would put those in my music, different things that I was feeling, write them down in poems and different things like that. And how it healed me over time was like yoga, meditation, different things like that. And that helped me gain more better relationship with my parents, with my mom and my father. Because when I met back up with my father 10 years later, it was never like a thing where I was upset with him or even upset with my mom, because my mom was young when she had, kids. She was 14. She was still a kid. So we have kids out here like that that's raising kids raising kids. So at the time, with our parents, we have to understand sometimes our parents don't know how to be parents, especially if they were kids themselves and then they didn't have parents growing up. You know what I'm saying? So, just learning and growing from that. Yeah, that's what got me through a lot of that stuff. So
That's
Cool.
that's
Keep
what it's
going.
about.
yeah.
Yep.
No. So we up against the time.
Dang, we gotta play that video.
Yeah. No, we put that up on. We're gonna put the video up on the channel.
Okay.
So y'all don't got it. So I don't know if y'all know what we got happening over here or whatever.
Right.
Like I said, a lot of times I don't say a lot, whatever. But we too have a lot of different things going on. We too have a facility in the East Valley. You know what I mean? That's where we sitting at right now. We do a lot of podcasts and video shoots and different other things like that here at our facility. We're not a recording studio. So I just want to let people know that. When I tell people that we got a studio, they be like, "Oh, we want to come through." I'm like, nah,
right.
We ain't doing that over here.
But we do have a platform where you can come and actually do your stuff.
Right. So cats want to go sit down and do a podcast. We lit up around here. You know what I'm saying? And when cats want to do a networking thing, we lit up around here. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to say that about us. And then we also have Media Made TV. And we on Roku and Amazon and all that. And so that's what I was talking about extending a hand to my brothers to reach a little further than what they may have done up to that point. You know what I mean? So it's not about us working for me or whatever. No, let's work together. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of different things that we can accomplish if we just keep that mindset about working together. You know what I mean?
That's a jewel.
So yeah, I just wanted to say that. But before I go, Bilal, I need you to tell everybody, man, shout out and plug everything and everybody to help you get to the place where you are today. Crondo, do that behind him. And Sky Harbor, I know you ain't here with us, brother, but we miss you and we'll get it in another time, man, with no problem at all, my brother. What you think?
Man, first and foremost, shout out to the Most High. Shout out to my family, my wife and my children. That's my support system. I appreciate them for supporting me through this journey. My brothers in OBFC, all my brothers with in the community, my extended family through in the community that supports us, and then my real family as well. Should I say my blood family as well that actually supports me as well. Those are the things that keep me going. And even to those who don't support me, that's okay as well, because I learned a lot about myself and a lot about other people through that as well. So please keep that up also, so I can continue to grow to be the best man that God has created me to be. So I need that from y'all as well. But other than that, I appreciate you two, Media Made, for having us on here. Continue to grow, continue to shine the light on all of the great things that's going on in the community and worldwide. And we look forward to our next meeting with you all as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you guys keep going. Don't give up. Just keep going.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Crondo, you got something?
Yeah, I definitely, as well want to shout out the Most High, shout out the Creator, my family, my support system as well. And then, OBFC, the community, for always supporting us and getting behind us and actually seeing what we do. And then, rocking with us. We'll continue to keep doing that. We got the album that just dropped last week, Stay Down. It's available on Bandcamp and it's available on all the streaming platforms. It's a dope project. and then also just be on the lookout for that for every other events and programs that we're doing in the community for the culture here, and we'll keep continue to push this culture here locally and abroad. And like you say, bro, like we definitely want to collaborate with you guys and just build.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No
some
question.
just came to my intuition too. Like, yeah, y'all got to get together. Y'all got to start speaking. And I'm not just talking about in Arizona. I'm talking about go. Y'all supposed to be speaking.
Yeah,
Doing
it's bigger.
tours,
It's
and
bigger
it's
than the
bigger
region
than
they're
that.
in.
Yeah.
I see it.
Yeah. So I know y'all got an album coming out and all that. Before we go, let me just say this. I know y'all got an album coming out. Whatever y'all choose, y'all want to bang on Media Made Music, y'all can just send the track over to Sonny, and we'll get it up on Media Made Music Radio, and we'll do that. You know what I mean? We also got the video that you sent,
Bless up.
Bless Up. At some point, don't hold me to it today or tomorrow, but at some point it's gonna be on Media Made TV.
Yes, sir.
It will be on there.
It's gonna be on there. You know what I mean? You know, I'm wearing a lot of hats around here. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying, you know, it's gonna be up. You know what I mean? And then before you go, let me just say this. You know what I mean? May you brothers always be blessed in the things that you do, and may you prosper in each and everything that you do, each and every day that you do it, my brothers. You heard?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Peace,
sir.
love, light to both
Peace,
of
love,
y'all.
and no question.
Peace and
Baby.
blessings, y'all.
Peace and blessings.
Yeah.
No doubt. All right. Salute to y'all once again, man. Y'all keep doing what y'all do, man. Peace.
Peace.